The head of the UN body that provides humanitarian relief in Gaza has told the BBC that Israel is weaponising the delivery of food aid there and that action would be assessed as a war crime. Philippe Lazzarini, the director of the UN Relief and Works Agency, said that the response from Israel to the attacks by Hamas on October the 7th had been disproportionate and that the international community had shown a monstrous indifference to the conflict. The Israeli government has accused UNRWA of complicity with Hamas. He was speaking to our international editor, Jeremy Bowen.
The Israelis say that your activities are hopelessly compromised in Gaza by infiltration by Hamas and the fact that staffers at UNRWA actually took part in the killing on 7th of October.
We are receiving hundreds of allegations from the State of Israel. Each time, as a rule-based organization, we keep asking for substantiated information. We never ever receive them.
On the subject of proof, on the Israeli government website, there's a link to a 73-page PDF with some names, ID pictures, documents which they say they captured in Gaza, which they say absolutely proves that UNRWA has been riddled by Hamas infiltration.
The UN keep asking Israel, please share this information. Until today, we haven't received any information from the government of Israel, except for the 19 staff who were allegedly incriminated to the massacre of October 7th. The agency decided to suspend the 19 staff, even for those for which there was absolutely no proof.
But they've got a point though, haven't they, that any essence of doubt about this whole thing does make it very difficult for you to continue. The Americans have frozen your funding.
I would disagree. We are in a war of narrative. There is a lot of propaganda. Never forget that the State of Israel has increased its budget by $150 million just for the propaganda.
Let us speak about what's going on at the moment in Gaza. Israel has not allowed any humanitarian aid in now for, more than 2 months. How serious is the situation there for civilians?
Starvation is spreading. People are exhausted. People are hungry. And more now we can expect in the coming weeks, if no aid is coming in, that people will not just die because of the bombardment, but they will die because of the lack of food.
What about the Netanyahu claim that there's been all along a lot of food in Gaza? Are you saying he's telling lies?
Again, this is part of a broader narrative. Obviously, any aid diversion would be a matter of concern, but what I can tell you is whenever UNRWA or UN agency is distributing food, we're directly distributing the food to the people in need, for which needs have been assessed by us.
Now, there is a new plan to try to get humanitarian aid in, which is to set up some hubs for distribution in the south of Gaza, protected by the Israeli military, but also private security, American private security perhaps being involved in all of that. The UN has said they're not going to take any part of this. It's against humanitarian principles. But actually, it's better than nothing, isn't it?
We have humanitarian principle because this principle helps us to save life. What is today being proposed falls short from that. Yes, some people might receive food, but others will be discriminated and receive no food. And in a situation where food is not available, this is a recipe for chaos.
Do you think Israel is using food aid, medical aid, humanitarian aid as a weapon of war?
I have absolutely no doubt, and this is what we have witnessed during these last 19 months, but especially during these last 2 months.
That's a war crime.
That will be qualified as a war crime. The qualification will come from the ICJ, not from me.
What about those accusations made by the South Africans that genocide is taking place there, the elimination in whole or in part of a group, the destruction, the dislocation, the movements of people? Do you think it fits that category?
Listen, by any account, the destruction are massive. The number of people who have been killed is huge and certainly underestimated. We have seen the systematic destruction also of a school, of health center. People have been constant pinballs within Gaza, moving all the time. So there is absolutely no doubt that we are talking about massive atrocities.
Genocide?
It could end up to genocide.
When people look back at what's been happening in the future, will they see actually a big international failure here?
I think in the coming years we will realize how wrong we have been, how on the wrong side of the history we have been. We have, under our watch, let a massive atrocity unfolding.
Would you include 7th of October in that?
I would definitely include also the 7th of October. The response also has been massive, has been disproportionate, basically almost leading to the annihilation of an entire population in their homeland. I mean, it's absolutely monstrous, especially in our countries where we have said never again. And there is a very, very deep feeling of injustice in the region, which is also fueling polarization.
Do you share that feeling?
I do share this feeling. It's deeply frustrating.
Thank you.